Hi everyone, good morning, good evening. Welcome back to ITOM batch 3, day 8. How are you doing guys today?
Yeah, doing good, Ajay. Thank you.
Good, Ajay.
Good. So again the same, like if let's before proceeding to the next sessions today, do you have any questions from the last sessions which we covered till now?
Yes, Ajay, I have one question.
Yes, Archana.
Uh, Ajay, we are discovering all the CIs and all that. It means what? What we are doing with that? The very basic question.
So after discovering what is the use of that particular CI, right?
Yes,
Okay.
like it means we are discovering all the hardwares and software and like something
Mm,
like that. We are.
right. So, information about the CI will help me out in different and couple of scenarios. And let me give you a basic example and then we'll go to the advanced level as well. Let me take an example, Archana. You have your laptop. Just this is also a CI, right? A computer. Okay.
Yes.
And that computer is not working because your laptop keyboard is not working. Okay.
Yes.
What you do? You will go to ServiceNow or anywhere, example. You will go and raise a incident or reach out to IT team mentioning my laptop is not working or my laptop keyboard is not working. Right. Now you are not aware what is the issue with that, right? How they knows what is the laptop serial number, what is the laptop informations. What they will do if they don't know about that information, they will reach out to you, might be they will call you. Achna, you raise an incident, but you mentioned your laptop hard keyboard is not working. How your keyboard is not working? Then provide the laptop serial number or couple of other informations they will ask to you, right? If you have already CI informations available in the system, you can, while raising an incident, if you attach or if you reference your laptop informations there, definitely they will not call you. They will
Yes.
check automatically from their side what is the serial number. If they will able to find out that basic information about your laptop, what is the serial number, who is the manufacturer, what is the model number, right? And based on the serial number they can automatically analysis is that particular device is in warranty or not based on the asset record which is created by the CI as well, right? If that is in warranty, sometimes IT support teams says we are not going to be touch it because it's in warranty. Let's raise a case with Dell, raise a case with HP directly, and they will come and check and they will replace it, right? So it saves the time again. It help to reduce my MTTR. First, agar if you don't have correct informations available, correct CI available, information is not available with your record or incident, definitely they will call you, or sometimes they will see the information is not available. Let's drop an email to Archana and let's wait for a couple of hours. After that you will confirm, you will share that informations what they have asked. After that they will going to be right. So unnecessary that 2 or 3 hours will be take to gather that information. If the information is already there, they will directly check the information and they will process further to be taken action on it, right? So somehow the 3 hours is reduced if the CI information available. This is one. Second thing, again, a business impact. Now let's talk about the infrastructure. A business impact is there. Business XYZ application is impacted, which is running on XYZ servers, right? So how pupils know or how team knows that application is not working? Someone from the business side raise an incident for that, right? And he will select an application. a service offering, business service or service offering, he's going to be select. Or might be if he knows, he also select the CIs. But if it is he don't know about the CI, he will select service offering and service, basically which is impacted to the customers. Due to that might be the business loss or the monetary related things will be they are losing, right? Whenever it's going to be assigned to any support team, that support team can be infrastructure team or application management team. How they identified that business is impacted, but where the business is impacted, which CI is impacted on it, right? Why that is not working? Again, they will see the relationships with the business service and service offerings, which CIs are connected, right? On top of it, they will see if they have event management, definitely they will see which alert or what alerts are running on those particular CIs, right? And they will try to evaluate like what is the impact due to that particular alert, right? If there is one alert example, the CI is down, right? So they can completely understand that this particular CI is down, and that's why this is a database or this is application server. That's why the reason we are able to get the failures from the business, that's this is not working, right? So it helped to reduce my finding the issues or resolve or reduce the MTTR overall of that, my incidents or whatever, right? It helped to find out those particular things very easily. Third scenario, let me give an example of, finding the unwanted or unapproved changes, right? What is happen in infra, if you want to do anything, right? You have to raise a change request, you have to, select the CI on which you are going to be implement the change, whatever that change is related to, whatever might be it's related to upgrade the patches, it might be related to upgrade the hardware or replacing the hardware can be RAM, memory or RAM or hard drive or anything else, right? Sometimes what happens in organizations, they are not following the process, and due to some hurriness or due to some requirement from the business, they will directly change that particular whatever they want to do, they would do the changes, right? But now who are tracking that particular changes? How they are going to be tracked? If and your discovery is running, your CMDB is updating, so we can see, we will create that type of dashboard if any CI changes happen in last 24 hours, right? And that can be visible to CMDB manager or the change manager. They can observe these are 100 CIs where the changes happen in last 24 hours related to that configuration changes related to their patch upgrade or that, right? They can also try to validate, is any change associated with that? Yes, change is associated, then okay. If it is not, then how how that change has been done? Then they will try to get the information of the CI to reach out to the application owner or the CI owner, and providing that information ki we find you upgraded the hardware or you upgraded the patches, but I'm not able to see any change associated to that. Did you raise any change? So they are able to debug, they are able to find out the unwanted changes which is happening in their organization. So these are the basic three simple examples. There are lots of other examples where CI or the configuration item informations you can use to debug, to find out the issues, to find out the root cause, and overall it will help to reduce the MTTR. I hope you knows about MTTR. Anyone knows what is MTTR?
Yeah, Ajay. It's mean time to resolve.
Yes, right. So earlier you are taking or it's taking 4 hours or 8 hours to resolve, but if you have correct information available on one place, it is reduced at least to 50%, right? And slowly and gradually, when your CMDB is good, your CMDB is healthy, and it's connected with that event management, service mapping, and all, definitely it's going to be reduced to very down.
Okay. And
Right.
and the term discovery is with aligning all the CIs, something like that, right?
Discovery is, product. Discovery is discovering the device. This is ServiceNow product, right?
Yes.
Now it's up to us how we want to manage the CMDB. This is process, right? Do we use ServiceNow Discovery to update the CMDB? Are we going to be use the manual process or Excel imports to be, update the CMDB, or the third party connectors which we have it, right? SCCM, Red Hat,
Yes.
SolarWinds, whatever. How we are going, it's up to us. Then last is, the REST API integrations which we can do anytime, right? So it's our call. It's depend on the organization or the customer where we are implementing to understand how they want to be proceed to implement the CMDB. Discovery is one of part of it to update that.
Okay.
Okay. I'm not sure, have you gone through the change process or not? Change process is very big. Like, let me give you a brief idea about how the change things works in an organization, right? First of all, if any changes need to do in organizations on infra, right? They will decide, they will try to discuss with their, internal team, that is the change we have to do on this particular date, this particular time. Then they are going to be, give that, do we require downtime? Are we going to be shut down that particular machines to implement the change? If yes, the downtime need to be provided, right? Apart from that, you cannot, it is not like that you can go and replace the things on it, right? First of all, you have to raise a change request where you have to fill lots of informations like who is the change owner, sorry, what is the CI, what is the business service, what is the business service offerings, and you have to provide a couple of things like business justification for that, right? If changes fail, what is the rollout plan for that, right? Test cases, if you already done this particular things on the test instance or somewhere to do that particular changes, right? So these particular things will be provided. Now, once that is done, that will go to the SS stage, change will go to the SS stage, and there, you know, the change will be assessing, or first of all that approvals will be there in SS stage basically. So that will be, might be approved who raise the change of their manager. Then, advisory board, change advisory board, then different stakeholders, if that application owner is involved in that particular change, because change will be done by infra team, but that will be impacted that application, right? So application owner, their team members, or complete governed partner going to be approved that particular change, right? Now that infra team to inform change as they have to be, come on the cab advisory board or change advisory board meeting, and they have to present their change. I'm just telling about the basic process. Couple of organizations have modified in the different ways, right? So they will present their changes there, and once they present their changes, they will showcase each and everything. This is my business justifications, that's why I'm going to be implement, this is my rollback plan, I've already tested on those particular things, this is the downtime window I'm going to be, this is my actual start or actual end time window of that particular change, right? If change advisory board is satisfied and then they approved it, only then you are able to implement the change on implementation or actual implement time. It's not like that again ki they approved it and you can go after half an hour to implement. No, whatever the time you have selected, might be it's weekend, might be it's late night, you have to be implement the change on that particular time only, right? Once the change has been, approved, or you have implemented on the time, then again we have the testing or the rigorous testing or other things will be started to make the change closer, right? So just see, if that much information is involved or that much process involved to implement a simple, you know change or a patch update, right? So if the CI is not available, if we are not sure where we have to be implement, if we are not aware what is the impacted CIs, what is the impacted services, right? What is affected CIs, it so it will not give the clear picture to anyone. And if we don't know where it is, what is the CI and where we are doing, then definitely, right, it will create issues in future for us. I hope you are able to correlate now as well.
Yes, got it.
Okay, now let me give you one more example, which is live example. I was working as a earlier in 2016 or 17 around as a NOC engineer, network operations command center engineer, who are responsible for monitoring the event and alert and reporting to that event and alert to uh, a particular infra team who are responsible for that. Right. That particular time I see I'm working in an organization. I cannot tell the name, but I'm working in organizations where we I'm the proof of it, where we are getting 60-65 incidents per month. And that 60-65 incidents are P1 or P2 most of the time, because they don't have complete aligned process, they don't have complete monitoring, they don't have complete CMDB. And to find out those particular root causes, we sometimes take more than 4 hours actually, right? But sorry, but again, we are not able to find out the root cause, we are not able to find out the correct CIs. Monitoring is still there, but still monitoring is that not that much proof, because it's a manual process that particular time. What will happen if a event or alert received from the monitoring system uh, to us, we will look into it, and we will follow the escalation matrix, or that the process matrix, where we have to raise incident, what type or what priority incident we have to raise, and after that we have to make a call to that particular persons we have raised incident. And the alert flow is that much high, lots of time is happening, we missed the alert to raise an incident, or we see no, this is not a critical incident, let's leave it, right, based on the alert priority, right? So P4, we are not raising incident, it's a P4, let's leave it. But that due to that P4 only, couple of times business impact will be happened, right? Then we are modifying the process, we are understanding the things, and if we are finding that particular alert or is causing the issue, but it's a P4, that's why we no one is taken highlight on it, then we are upgrading that alert to, if that particular alert will come next time, we will go for P2 only, right? So we will identify this is a P2 alert, and we have to raise a P2 incident, right? Now, when ServiceNow, how the things will be moved out from 65 incidents to 2-3 incidents in a month, ServiceNow comes in the picture. We have discovered there, and I'm also part of that particular. From there, my ServiceNow journey basically started. So I'm also part of that implementation. So we discovered that but the whole infrastructure of there, we have uploaded the or maintained the correct CMDB. Then we have automate the complete event management solutions. So earlier, as I mentioned, manual process. Now we have integrated all event management solutions with ServiceNow, and ServiceNow automatically creating the incidents, whatever that escalation matrix or process matrix we have defined, automatically assigned the incident to the stakeholders based on the priorities, and then automatically making a call to the stakeholders and putting the logs, right? Everything is automated now. Then we also connected with the service mapping, where architectures has been defined for their critical labs, and we can easily identify this is the root cause, or this is the culprit, because due to that the issue is there, right? So we and using that complete process, now the incident, business impact incident, which earlier happening 65s in a month, reduced to 3 or 4 now. Right. So see how, but it's not, I'm not saying it's take one day. It's take 1 year to reach out that particular position to reduce that count. But if we decided we have to be automate, we have to be design the process, we have to do those particular things, somewhere the things will be going to be happen automatically, and we have to be design or define the correct processes basically. And that is something CMDB power, or we can say ServiceNow power, basically, which help out to reduce those particular business impacts. So I think you're able to.
Yes, I
understand.
got it now. Thank you.
Yeah. Any questions from anyone else?
Yeah, Ajay, I have a small query, I guess, not related to these. Can you tell me what exact the plugin we need to install to start the service mapping?
Service mapping,
Yeah, like the plugin.
plugin name.
Yeah, plugin name.
I think, let me tell you. One moment. If I'm not wrong, that is one moment. I'm just checking. That service mapping plugin. That is com.snc.service-watch. Or there are couple of plugins. Let me tell you on the service mapping side. On the service mapping, if you want only service mapping, right? That there
Yes.
is a plugin which is com.snc.service-mapping, right? But as I mentioned already, to implement the service mapping, the prereq is discovery, right? So you have to be
Hmm.
enabled discovery, right? Sorry, you have to be enable the discovery, right? Also, there is one more plugin which comes like the event management and service mapping core. If you enable this, the basics of event management things will be comes out of the box with the service mapping that we called service com.snc.service-watch plugin. And again, if you want the complete event management and all, there's one event management plugin in different say, that is com.glideapp.itom.snec.
Okay, okay. I got your point.
Available, that is available on ServiceNow documentation, because I cannot remember those particular things. I'm also referring that ServiceNow documentation. If you need, I can give you that URL and you can see that information from there.
Yeah, yeah. Please share it.
Yeah, I'm on put it on chat right away. Okay, let's get
Yeah,
started.
sure.
Let me share my screen now. All right, so today's topic we have is prereq for discovery. Right. So already, if you are able to see on my screen, let me go down here. So if when we are going to be start discovery, we required discovery plugin, that is com.snc.discovery plugin. Already I have mentioned like this is available as a separate subscriptions from the rest of the Now platform. We need to reach out to ServiceNow account manager to enable the discovery subscription, right? Now you can also enable the discovery plugin on the subprod or dev or test instances from your side, but on the prod itself that should be enabled by account manager, or that should be requested by high portal from your side, or the support portal of the service now, where you have to go, you have to be select raise a request to enable the plugin, and you have to be select your instance and when you want to be enable that particular plugin. From there you can do that, right? But when you are once you are enabling the discovery plugin, there are two plugins by default will be enabling. One is cloud provisioning and governance core plugin, and the second is the service watch shoot common plugin, right? And sorry, not two, four basically. And then ITOM licensing and the discovery IP base. So these four plugins will be by default automatically activated. So you no need to do anything, but if you are enable the discovery plugin, these four plugins will be automatically, right? And I hope you are able to understand with the name itself. The core provisioning and governance is, when you are going to do that cloud discovery, that will comes use there. ITOM licensing, when you are used to ITOM to understand how many licenses are consumed, that will going to use there. And discovery IP base for the, to help to run the discoveries on IP based site, right? That will going to use there, right? So these are the first thing. Second, mid server based on the DC and DR, right? So now your instance is ready with plugin activated. What is the next step? Next step is mid servers. So you required now, the thing is comes, as I mentioned, mid server based on the DC and DR. That is happening in the uh, requirement gathering or workshop sessions with the customer to understand how many data centers they have it, what type of devices they have it, is there any connectivity between the data centers, how many DR they have it, and based on that you are suggesting that this is the count of the mid server we required. As I earlier mentioned, for dev and test we can go with one mid servers based on that, but at least for prod we required multiple mid servers based on the locations if we know the count and the load is little high, right? So at least more than two mid servers, right? Then we the things comes port to be opened on the network firewall, right? So if I need to be reach out, I'll just give you an example here. If I just need to be reach out to uh, Siva's house, I need some connection. I need his home address, right? And if I know his home address, then I need some, vehicle or something to reach their house, right? The same way in service now, mid server, if mid server need to be collect some data from the target systems, he needs some connection, and the connection is based on the port, right? So if port are open, then he will the mid server is able to collect the data from target machines and put it to service now, right? So that's some couple of ports based on the device type. I will that is basically required. And the fourth thing is credentials, right? So again, now we have accessibility, but till the time we don't have access to that machine or credentials, we don't have it, we are not able to collect that information, right? So these are the basic four things which must be required while running discovery. There are other lots of things based on the requirements that will be changed, but end of the day, these are the basic four things which is required for the discovery prereq as a prereq. So any questions in that particular one?
Yes, I do. No, regarding the ports that need to be opened, um, are we talking about different ports or just one particular point? Or
No.
for any particular organization you want to do the discovery for? So which particular is it? We have many ports or just one port that need to be opened?
Right. So there are not a particular port. There are a different port based on the different device types. Right. In next slides, I'm going to be discuss about each and everything pre-req in detail. Right. So what mid server, what is a mid server count, and how we are going to be install the mid server. That we how what is the port, what type of port we are required to be open from, what type of devices, the standard ports or the standard device type I'm trying to calculate or going to showcase here. But there are other lots of others basically, right? Then standard credentials for discovery of standard devices, which is used by every organizations most of the time, right? And more 80 or 90% devices belongs to that particular device types, which I'm going to be cover here today, right? Apart from the 10% is something if customer is using some different technology, different device types and other things, right? So I'm going to discuss about each and everything up in detail basically for that.
Ajay, I have a question. So, are you going to show this in PDI environment or like?
100%. Definitely I'm going to be right. So my PDI is always ready. I got some suggestions and after that immediately I activated my PDI. But before reaching out to PDI, I think from the next week itself, we are going to be move out to completely PDI, and everything is done on the PDI itself, not on that particular PPT and all, right. It's just to be create the base and create the basic and understand give the basic understanding of the product, and then how we are configuring mid server, how we are going to be install the mid server troubleshootings, where we have to be configure the credentials, how we can ensure the port is open or not. That is everything happen on that PDI or mid server itself.
Okay.
Sorry, another
Because
question is,
yeah,
I'm
I'm
sorry,
sorry. Yeah.
just a
So
follow up on the
yeah.
follow up
So
on the
because
previous.
I'm like not aware of this terminology, so it's becoming a little bit confusing if you're seeing the slides. So that's the reason I'm asking.
Okay, definitely, definitely. So because if I directly move out to ServiceNow instance, now that you are going to be confused more if you don't know. That's I'm trying to say.
Okay. Okay.
Right. So okay, go ahead.
I'm
Uh,
good. I'm good. Yeah.
okay.
Please
Yeah,
go
I
ahead.
was saying that a follow up to the question you asked. So if we do the demonstration in the PDI, would that provide enough exposure to be able to do it in real life for any organization? Do we have all the necessary information if we are faced with a real life situation scenario for any organization?
Right. So, as of now, like as I mentioned, what I'm trying to do here, I'm trying to cover the scenarios basically, but you cannot do the live thing for any organization on PDI because we have limitations there. We don't have that access to their organization infrastructures and we cannot connect to the PDI, right? Because infrastructure is a big component where we cannot access directly like that, right? So what I have going to use, I have infrastructure available, little infrastructures where I'm going to use it. I'm going to use a now learning mid servers where I'm going to install the fresh mid servers, right? It just like when we are going to be implement the mid server in the customer environment, right? And what checks we have to be take, or what pre-req we have to be take care while we installing the mid server in the customer pre-req customer environment, that I'm going to be cover, right? The same way, what when we are opening the firewall policies, that how, because firewall policy is not in our control, that will be opened by the network team, but what required to be open, and if that is open correctly or not, how we can test that particular things, we can also going to be do the same thing on our mid servers or our ServiceNow instance basically. The same way for credentials, right? Because we will provide the prereq to the customers. These are the prereq to start the discovery from our side. Now you have to be implement and confirm back, and then we can test it, and then we'll start for the discovery. I hope that clears you, Michael.
Yeah, that's okay. Thank you.
Sure. Any other questions from anyone?
Yeah, Ajay, can you come again that which plugins are need to be confirmed by the account manager to be installed in the prod instance? All four of these plugins?
No, 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 no. As I mentioned, the main plugin is discovery, com.snc.discovery. Other
Okay.
plugins automatically installed with that.
Okay.
That all other four plugins which I mentioned as ABCD for cloud provisioning, service watch, item licensing, and discovery IP based, that will be enabled with that com.snc.discovery plugin, because that just it's you just mentioned it's like a package. Right, so if you enable discovery plugin, automatically other four plugin will be activated on your instance. And why I'm trying to mention this one, because sometimes what happen, and you can also test this particular things, if you enable com.snc and discovery plugin and it's not activated properly, right? So or might be it's left out due to some records or some plugins which is out of the box coming with that, right? You will face couple of issues with that, right? So just to ensure, when enabling the discovery plugin, once that is activated by ServiceNow, you can go your instance and check about these other plugins is activated or not properly.
One more question, like why we need to do by the service now in the prod instance and not the sub prod instance?
Which one? Come again?
Like I'm saying that why we need to install by the service now account manager in the prod instances, not in the sub prod instance.
Good question, right? So in sub prod instance, there is no In simple words, there is no licensing calculation happened, right? So in sub-prod instance, you can do from your side because there is no monetary or there is no licensing will be happening, right? But when you are doing in the prod instance, definitely you purchase some license from the customer for the discovery, right? And and your account manager knows which plugin and which discussions he made it with us, right? So, oh, sorry. That's why he understand which plugin he required. As I mentioned, like I'm trying to understand the licensing or that SKUs from the customer side from couple of long time, but sometimes it's very confusing to me, right? Now, I just let me give an example here. If someone a service now representative or sales manager comes to me, I mentioned my problem to him, and he mentioned, sir, you go with the discovery, right? And go with event management, and he sell it, right? But he knows what actual plugins or licenses he sell to me. In the same way, the same issue have different customers, but is that possibility as well? He will send, he will, sell some other licenses and product to the different customer. So it's not standard that I feel most of the time, right?
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's why that information having with the account manager who are responsible for my project, and he will take care about those particular informations and collect from the sales managers, like what you have committed, which product or which module you have sell it, how many license you have sell it, and then everything will be taken care by account managers if any issue. And definitely if product is plugin is not activated on the account, if some issues with the product, then we can reach out to account manager to help out resolve that particular issue.
Okay. Uh, this is same for the service mapping plugins as well.
Yes, yes. Any plugin which will be
Sorry, Ajay, I think your voice is breaking.
no, I am able to speak.
I think your voice is breaking and I'm not able to hear you.
Right. Ritam, can you please go on mute? I think I'm getting lots of background noise from your side.
Okay.
Traveling
No, no, no. Let
somehow
me check.
you can hear lots of noise, background noise from your side. Now I hope now able to hear me. This is something due to background noise, I think.
Yeah, yeah, namaste.
Okay. So that particular things, are handled by account service now account managers, and that's why he is responsible for those particular things. Any other questions?
Ajay, and second point, mid server based on DCRCR. What does it mean, Ajay? Actually, when you are discussing, Ajay, due to some network issues, I was unable to join.
DC is data center. I think it's CR mentioned, but it's a DR. DR is
Okay.
disaster recovery. Right. So we have different type of data centers available in organizations. DC is the main data center, or DR is that backup data centers, basically, right? So we are understand like how many data centers customer have, how many DR customer have. Does that these data centers and DR have any connectivity between them, or does have all the data centers have connectivity between them? Right, and based on that, we are aligning how many mid servers we required to be discover the all type of devices in their infrastructure. Okay.
Okay, okay, Ajay. And one more thing, like the prerequisites for discovery, right? And who will going to take care of these things, Ajay? Because client, I mean, like lead will be interact with the client and like how it is, Ajay.
Right. So now basically couple of things comes in the picture, right?
Mhm.
One, you are representing, it depends, like what type of organization you are working. I think if you go on mute, that will be good. I'm getting my background noise again. Right. So what is happening, it depends what type of customer you are dealing with, right? So if you are a partner of the ServiceNow or implementing ServiceNow for different customers, definitely it's responsibility of your spoke. If you are the spoke for that particular team or you are the lead of the discovery, you have to be take care about to implement that particular prereq with ServiceNow or with customer to enable or process with the discovery, right? And you have to lead the workshop sessions, discussion sessions, and requirement gathering sessions with the customer. If you are a functional consultant or architect, right? Developer role not comes in the picture most of the time in these particular things. Developer will be the most of the time working from the back end or troubleshooting the issues with their infrastructure teams, right? So that things will be taken care by that business process consultants or architects who are working on that particular project, right? Second thing, but what you ask another thing, I just forget.
Who will going to take, like as I mentioned, lead or any other?
As I mentioned, BPC or ServiceNow architect will be take care from from our side, on from partner side basically. As I mentioned, if you are working for any third or any other organizations to implement it, right? Or if you are working in your organization, same. It depends how your organization or architecture will be, right? So it possible you are implementing ServiceNow discovery for your organization itself. Might be you are working in any product based organization or any different type of organizations. We are not working with vendor support management, and they hire you to implement ServiceNow discovery in their environment itself, right? So in that case, you are the only person who have to be take care. Or might be it depends again the organization structures. What are the peoples there? What their role defined? And in my side, if I tell you in simple words, that will be taken care by basically that pre-reg will be taken care by the product owners and the BPCs.
Okay, Jay, got
Yeah.
it.
So let's move to the next slide then. So before we begin the discovery, there are four things which I try to mention here, which we have to be take care. Number one is grant discovery rule. So as you aware, like if we are going to be start discovery, first of all, if most of the time it's not happened with me whatever it's mentioned on the first things, because we will get the admin access on the sub prod or prod instance and we can directly going to execute. But the process says there are different role for different users, and access should be given based on their roles and their works basically required in that particular organization. We should not provide the complete admin access to anyone, right? So here the first thing is verify that users who are expected to configure and execute discovery in your network have the discovery admin role. This role grant access to the tables in the discovery application, right? So now I let me take an example. If you are implementing complete fresh service now for a customer, but on that, when you are implementing ServiceNow for a customer, that can be possibility there are different team working from your side itself. Might be one team is implementing ITSM, might be one team is implementing CMDB, one team is implementing CSDM process and all, right? You are working for the discovery from BPC or architect. There are lots of roles and lots of things, right? So we that should be ensured if any person who are responsible for the discovery who have discovery admin role. This is just before the handover the things to the customer or after the handover the things to the customer as well. So once as you are working as implementation partner, once your implementation done, you are going to be hand over that particular things that we have done, that is a discovery and all, right? So you are handing over to some other partner or vendor of the customer or their customer stakeholders, right? So they have to be ensured they do not have the admin X directly. They have discovery admin, so they can able to perform the discovery admin related capabilities only. I hope you got it right. Second is designated a computer to host the mid servers. When I especially mentioned computer means I'm talking about a server. The server, a server can be a Windows or a Linux OS servers. We required a designated, right? So it again it's a physical or it's a virtual. It depends on the customer, what customer able to provide us, right? But we need to install mid application on that particular infrastructure or that particular virtual machine. We require dedicated for mid application. It should not be shared with anyone else, right? It should not be any other different application running on it, right? Couple of times what will happen in organizations due to some cost cutting and all, they will provide you any other because it just lightweight application mid basically mid application is very lightweight application, right? It's not take too much time, data. But couple of time customer provided if any other application running on it and they are not using too much, they will give you the same server and ask you to install your mid application and discover the devices. But we have to be little bit make sure that should not be like that case. It's only required for mid applications because it's going to be act as a middleware between your target device which you want to be discover and the ServiceNow instance. So everything coming and everything passing through that particular mid server only to ServiceNow instance. Third thing is gather the login credentials that mid server must be accessed that device is expected to discover, right? So now you got mid server, but how you are going to install your mid application, how you are going to be accessed, right? So we required credentials and that credentials should have a local admin role. So you can perform the local activities on that particular mid server to install the mid application as well as you are able to troubleshoot the issues in future if required to do that, right? So that is third. And the fourth is determine which IP address discovery must scan. If a highly complex network, we are going to ask for group IPs ranges or range sets basically, and we are going to be schedule the different and we are going to use those particular things in different schedules. Discovery does not support anything outside of these ranges, right? So now let me give an example. Your customer have thousands of IPs which you want to be discovered, right? And they give you particular XYZ IP range. Let me give an example of 10.0.0.1/24. They have given you that particular IP range or IP range set, and they are you started the discovery and you discovered it, right? After one day, once you have going to share the discovery results to the customer, you mentioned, sir, we have able to discover these particular IPs, but surprisingly he mentioned to you why the 10.0.2 sorry 10.0.2 of 300 is not discovered, but that particular IP not comes in that range. In 10.0.0.1/24, there are 256 IP comes in the picture. Simple, right? So how the 300 can be discovered? I'm just giving an example. Sorry, don't be confused with that, right? So whatever the IP range is provided by the customers, you are only able to discover in between IPs which is working, which have the credentials, which have the access of the firewall policies, that will be only discoverable, not other than that or not in outside that particular one, right? Only between that, right? So we have to be make sure that provided IP ranges by the customer we have correctly, or what we can do, we can ask a baseline say inventory from the customer to ensure whatever customer provided to us we are able to discover, or we have run the discovery on it, right? Baseline is something the excel or data which is going to be managed by a customer to ensure or to see these are the devices we have available in our different data centers, right? So it just give you little information about the IP, it will just give you little information about the device type, or owners of it, and or data centers and the locations as well, right? So it would be very good if we can collect that particular device type or baseline information or a baseline Excel from the customers, and based on that we can proceed further to start the discovery. And if we feel or we can match that one, right? Whatever we discovered Y value, we can match with that baseline X value, or we can compare, is this all are discovered? Yes, all are discovered. Then okay, if it is not discovered, might be 10 IPs are not discovered, you can highlight. Sir, we have based on your baseline, whatever we have received, these are 10 IPs is not discovered. We have not find out in any IP subnet. Can you help me to provide where that particular IPs are? Might be he will let you know, like, these IPs are not, no more use, or might be he will let you know, no, that is not belongs to that one. That's not need to be discovered. That is comes from DMG zone or something. So you will get clarification. Second use of the baseline inventory, which is asked by the customer, is if you're working on a discovery again and you're going to be stuck, right? Because based on the IP ranges, you cannot able to identify what is storage, what is Windows, or what is Linux, right? If you have a baseline, it's very helpful to troubleshoot that particular issues with the respective team. Sometimes in ServiceNow logs, also you're not able to, because it's not reachable host. So if it is not reachable host, you're not able to reach that machine. So you don't have any information what type of it is, where I need to reach out, right? If sometimes this is also happen, that's a virtual Windows machine, but it's discovered as a Linux, right? So that type of scenarios comes in the picture. You can help or get the information from the baseline to check or do a little validation before reaching out to troubleshoot that particular issues with the customers, infrastructure stakeholders. And you will save a lot time there as well. Otherwise, it will take lots of time to be find out who are the responsible, which is the correct OS running on that particular machines. So these are the basics things which we have to be take care of before beginning the discovery start, or before going to be start the discovery processes and all. Any questions in that one? No? Are we good? Yes, no, maybe. Guys, you can respond.
Yeah, Ajay, all good.
Okay. Thank you. Let me move to the next slide. Right. So I think we have, how much time is now? It's 56. Okay. I think I'm not able to cover this one, but let's try to start something on that, right? So as I mentioned, now Discovery plugin is activated on your instance. The next things comes in the picture is mid server. Okay. I'm not going to be take too much time on this one tomorrow, but on,
Sorry.
yeah, yes, Michael.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to take us back. For a group of devices, we do IP ranges. How do we determine the IP ranges for a group of devices that
Right.
I
So
want?
you cannot determine that particular. Basically, that should be provided by your customer for which you are implementing the discovery. Because you are hired or you are working as a ServiceNow discovery consultant for their infrastructures. So you don't know about their infrastructures, you don't know about their IP ranges, or you don't know about their group of IP range sets. So this is a pre-req, or this is something which you have to ask to the customer to provide that information to you based on their data centers. So you can schedule, you can configure the discovery for those particular IPs. I hope you're able to understand now.
Yes. So that means okay, for discovering different assets, we'll be dealing with IP ranges more than just a lone asset we want to discover. So the
Right,
discovery that will involve discovering more assets than just one particular asset.
right, exactly. So discovery is doing or running on IP based only, which is connected to a network. assets is not related to that. Assets can be anything, right? And so all most of the time assets is not connected to the network, right? Like if you have a facility assets like table, chair, that is not part of it, right? Second thing, if you have a consumable assets, mouse, keyboards, that is not connected to the internet, right? Then you have infrastructure assets, medical assets, whatever, right? So that are not connected to the internet. Discovery will be working for those devices which have IP address available as well as that device connected to the network. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Let's move to the next slide. Meets our requirement, right?
Ajay, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, go ahead.
If you can give details about the third point in the last slide.
This one.
Gather the yeah.
Okay, so last as I mentioned, right? Let me ask you in different way. You got a laptop from your IT team, okay, but how you are going to work on that laptop?
Yeah, so need credential also to log in.
Right. Now you got the credentials, but what other things you require to do that, right?
All the application softwares.
Right. The same thing I just try to mention here. If you get the mid server, you required the mid server credentials with the local admin access. So you are able to install the mid application on it. Also in future, if you want to do some troubleshootings, like you want to run SNMP walk, you want to run WME query, or you want to run WBME test, or you want to do some telnet or port query, whatever, right? You are able to that those particular things without any issue, right? So gather the login credentials that mid server must use to access the device it is expected to discover.
Okay, got it. Ajay, thanks.
Basically. Is anyone have any other questions before moving to the next slide?
Ajay, I have a question regarding
Mhm.
this IP address discovery, right? And only cloud discovery also having IP address. How it is, Ajay?
So cloud discovery also having the IP address, but cloud discovery working on the service accounts.
Okay.
Right. So basically, what you have to do in the cloud discovery, you are going to be configure the credentials to the proper or exact service accounts only. Right. So let me give in a different way here. So in your laptop, what you do, you can create a, you are going to user in a user profile, and you can create a new user and you can provide some specific access to that user that can possible, right? Or admin access might be you have it, but that another user who are going to be logged in that machine that having some specific access. The same way, if when we are asking to cloud team to provide the details, they will create a credentials and they will add that particular service account to that credentials, right? If that service account have that access of those credentials which we required, and once we entered the credentials in the ServiceNow table, credentials table, we are able to discover whatever that information available there based on the service account level. Service account is nothing. Service account is just a LOBs or differentiator between the different team and different business use cases. Right, under that we have cloud resources, we have virtual machines, under we have virtual machine IP, everything is there under that, right? But it's going to be discovered in that way only, not to the directly IP.
Okay,
Okay,
Ajay.
let,
Yeah.
let me showcase you something more. Yeah, okay, I think it's open. Let me open my instance. So meanwhile, my instance is opening. Let me close this one. So, okay. So basically, whatever here, like now, as of now, we are here on this particular stage, bits over one. Okay, then we'll going to be discuss about running processes, running discovery, quick run discovery. Then we'll going to be discuss about the credentials and all, right? So I'm also trying to incorporate in my training whatever mentioned in the ServiceNow learning course as well, right? So you should not feel as I have a different or complete different agenda for the discovery, right? So I'm going to be complete you're going to use this one, but apart from that, I've also added my content, my some agenda in the training, so basic things will be clear to everyone, right? So let me go here and let me
Ajay,
showcase
what is the course name that you are referring?
discovery fundamentals.
Okay.
So if I go here just to show,
It's free or paid?
sorry.
Is it free or paid?
So it's free for partners. If you are working with the partner organizations, then it's free to, go with the course. But the again, cost is associated with that particular certification. So if I go here, see, I just mentioned to you credentials, right? So there are these type of credentials available, Windows credentials. If you want to discover Windows machine, I'm going to be showcase you on those particular things. But what I'm here, it's AWS one or Azure Service Principal, right? So here example, I'm just putting test, access ID is test again. Let me put something this. Let me submit this. But now that one credential is created like AWS. Okay, I'm not use the correct credentials, that's why. Or might be, let me change the view. Which default view? What is the default view? One moment. Test. Okay. The tenant ID must be very strong. Client ID is this. Yeah, see here you can see Azure Service Principal, right? So when I created the credentials for Azure, you can discover subscriptions, right? So once you discover subscriptions or sorry, subscription is nothing, it's a service account. So once you discover or your credentials are correct, you are able to see the Azure subscriptions here. And once that is available here, you are able to see those particular informations in service account table here. And from here, like if you see the cloud already there, and from here you can schedule the discovery of those particular service accounts after discovering the data centers, and then you can create the discovery schedules. And once the discovery schedule done, cloud discovery will start automatically and collect the data from there. So it's not IP based, it's service account based, basically, in simple words, if I say.
Got it. Good example.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ajay, the same thing can we do by the service graph connector, right, Ajay?
Yes, Service Graph Connector is something out of the box, right? Here you have to be configure those particular things. In Service Graph Connector, you just need to be provide the username and password, and automatically Service Graph Connector will process and collect the data. Right. And Service Graph Connector have limitations, which Discovery don't have the limitations, because
Okay.
it's complete out of the box, which is collecting the whatever written in that one, right? Discovery is going to be go with that, discovery patterns, basically using the cloud APIs.
Yeah, we actually configured our system with the service character for both Azure and AWS. So
Right, but
that's why I'm asking.
they definitely have limitations, right? You are not able to see lots of things there,
Okay.
and it will not provide the correct relationships and other things as well. Not correct, but not whole relationships basically.
Okay.
Okay, I think any other questions from anyone? Because I think we are on the time now, and I think let's start the mid-server topic tomorrow, and we'll go ahead with that. And I think in this week, I think we have 2 more days. We'll finish this whole functional things from Monday onwards. Monday, I just give you highlights to you guys. Might be on coming Monday, I'm not be available. I'm just need to be travel somewhere. But from Tuesday onwards, if I came early or if I came on the time, I will update you on the group and we'll connect on it. Or if I'm not, I will also inform you that I'm not able to conduct a training on Monday. But Tuesday onwards, we are moving to complete full-fledged practical things. So be ready for that. Make sure your ServiceNow instance is running, PDI is running, or you should have, if you have used, you can use Now Learning to install your MIT applications. If you don't have it, if you can create some, free account on Azure or AWS and get some, virtual machines from there, because you're required to do some practical things or troubleshoot from your side as well to learn these particular things. So start those particular things basically. Okay, and till that time, I think that's all from my side. Thank you so much. If we don't have any other questions.
Ajay, I have a
Hello?
question related to plugin.
Yeah.
All that plugin we need to install it in day one in product environment or in every environment we need to install it.
Every environment where you have to run the discovery. It depends. Like, and the standard practice always says you have to do everything on the dev, then you have to move out on the test for the testing and the validations, and then you have to be moved out in prod, right? So if you going to use these 3 instances, definitely that all 3 instances should install the discovery plugins and others.
Pritam is told about one thing that that is only in the prod environment. I am unable to understand that. That's why I'm
Prod
asking.
environment is enable prod environment should be activated by service account manager. We cannot activate that plugin. I especially mentioned in the dev and test, we can install it from our side, but not in prod.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, no issues. I think then thank you guys. Thank you so much for your time. We'll connect tomorrow at the same time and we'll try to complete that discovery prereq and other things with next 2 days and we'll proceed further for another things. Till the time, have a good. Bye bye.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Ajay. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ajay.